The 2022 NFL campaign is one to forget if you're a Saints fan. The team currently sit in third place in the NFC South with a 3-6 record, and wide receiver Michael Thomas is set for surgery and will likely be out again for the remainder of the season. However, the worst thing about this season in New Orleans has to be head coach Dennis Allen's treatment of quarterback Jameis Winston. After the Saints' Week 9 27-13 loss to the Baltimore Ravens, many fans began to wonder if Jameis would get a chance to come back in favor of Andy Dalton. Winston is currently healthy after sustaining a back injury early in the season, but has been off the team's injury report since Week 9. Yet Dennis Allen has continued with Dalton under center, and when pressed about the quarterback situation, the head coach basically stated that nothing had changed with Andy's position on the team even after that recent ugly outing. Honestly, to me, it makes sense to go back to Jameis. The team is 2-4 under Dalton, and while Jameis didn't really impress in his first 3 starts, he was missing a lot of guys in those games and was playing injured and should not have played in the Week 2 game against the Bucs. He got destroyed that game and threw 3 picks as they went on to lose 20-10. But nonetheless, you're paying him a fairly large contract over 2 years, and I don't think 3 starts is really enough under new coaching staff. Let's not forget the great start he had last season before going out with a torn ACL. And this ultimately points all fingers at Dennis Allen, who's really fumbled the season and has pissed off Saints Nation for the most part. Allen has been a disaster in his first stint as head coach in New Orleans, and it's just crazy to think how horribly coached this team has been. His insistence on sticking with Dalton, a guy who won't really take any deep shots downfield and mainly utilizing the short passing game, isn't the reason why the organization used a first-round pick on receiver Chris Olave. You even had players like Alvin Kamara criticizing the coaching staff for not calling out players for their mistakes in the offseason. Basically, this stuff would have never happened under the guidance of former head coach Sean Payton. And now there is a report where Jameis did an interview with New Orleans Football claiming his head coach basically lied to him, saying that he would not lose his job due to injury. And while it's kind of confusing as to whether Jameis Winston is actually injured or not, as on one hand you hear the quarterback saying he's still kind of injured in the interview, but how the hell is he not on the team's injury report and was listed as his team's backup in Week 9? Look, I get it. I understand why Allen prefers Dalton over Winston. And he just doesn't commit as many negative plays as much as Jameis does. He's just a safer option, and for a coach who I'd say his position with the team is in limbo for next season, taking the risk and betting on Jameis Winston seems like the most viable option. Anyways, the Saints will host the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 10, and hopefully the team are able to bounce back after the loss in Baltimore.